Welcome back to Bloodstained Hands. I was not going to record another episode this weekend, but it is a long weekend, and I have a reason for wanting to do this today, and that is that I finally have a new computer. I got it all set up. I've got everything set up with OBS and RPG Maker and all my games transferred over and everything, and I'm wanting to test to see how the game runs. So, this is kind of the test recording for this new PC. We're going to see how this goes. I also have a controller set up that I'm playing with, so I may be a little bit clunky with the movements because I'm not quite used to it, but if I was to use the keyboard, I don't know if you can hear that, I have a mechanical keyboard, and it's very clicky, and that's me tapping about as lightly as I can. And that's more, I want to be nice to your ears, so I'm going to use the controller instead and see if that's in any way more bearable. So, testing out a few new things all at once here, but what we're going to do is we're just going to jump into it and see how this goes, and with any luck, this will be a lot smoother than the last few episodes. So, let's get into it. I did a little bit of a test just to make sure everything was running properly, but we're going to jump back into our old file. Okay, so we are here outside the training facility. So last time on Bloodstained Hands, we did some side missions to earn a little bit of extra money. We then went to Daimo and geared up as best we could. We got some steel weapons, knight armor, ice equipment for Gray. We gave Gray a new spell, Synthesis, which allows him to convert HP to MP. And we went through Glacio's throat, fought the Leviathan, and made our way across the ice fields here to the training facility. We are here to receive some extra training so that we are worthy of being called assassins once more and can start taking missions from the Guildmaster once again to achieve the objective of restoring the Empire. So, with that in mind, let's make our way inside the facility and return to training. It's still here. This ruin? This is what we were looking for? May not look like much, but this place is perfect for what we need. It's well equipped, it's isolated, and it's safe. But there's no one here. I thought we were coming here to receive training. Who's going to train us? Well, they will. Shadow, you returned to us. Why? Greetings, Guardian. I bring one of our order. He wishes to receive training so that he may reach his full potential. I see. And the price? Are you prepared to pay it? Yes, Guardian. Very well. You may enter. Meet the Master in the courtyard. Then shall your training begin. Who was that? That was a Guardian, the spirit of a deceased assassin. They defend this place from intruders and train those sent by the Guildmaster. He recognized you. And it's a good thing, too. Why do you think I came with you? I convinced the Guildmaster to send me so that I could get you into the fort. If you had just walked right in, the Guardians would have torn you to shreds. They do the same to anyone who entered without permission. He mentioned a price. What did he mean? Every person trained by the Guardians must pay a price. Since they're dead, there isn't really anything we can give them, but there is one thing that they truly want. What's that? Release. They're bound to this realm. They can't pass on. If we can sever their bonds to the mortal realm, they can finally find rest. How are we supposed to do that? That's what we're here to find out. Let's go. Okay. Well, let's talk to the Master. Welcome, initiates. You claim to seek our knowledge and experience. In return, you have offered to release a Guardian from the mortal realm. Is this correct? Yes, Guardian. While you are here, you will refer to me as Master. Only when you have proven yourself will you refer to me as an equal. Do you understand? Yes, Master. Then let us begin your training. First, we shall test your skills as they currently are. Engage! Guardian emerged. This is not a winnable fight, but we're just gonna do what we can. Yeah, we can't even come close. Can't even make a dent. Your technique is effective, but crude. You understand the basics, but you are a child compared to an experienced warrior. What techniques have you learned? Cauterize. I am an endurance assassin. And I know Shroud. I'm a stealth assassin. I did not realize the level of instruction at your guild had dwindled so greatly. What's that supposed to mean? There's no such thing as a combat, stealth, or endurance assassin. Every assassin is meant to be as versatile as possible. By now you should have already learned all the skills. Is that possible? Of course. Not only must you learn these skills, but you must learn how to use them as effectively as possible. This is where we will focus our instruction. But you are tired, yes? The day has taken its toll on you. Perhaps we should retire until tomorrow. Your training may continue then. I am tired. Alright. Let's rest up and work some more tomorrow. There are bedchambers in the basement of this fort. Feel free to rest there, and make use of whatever you please while you are here. This place is open to you. Thank you, Master. I've received some questions from previous people that have recorded this, doing Let's Plays of this game, and just from people in general, as to why this guy looks exactly like the Guildmaster, both his sprite and his face, and it's not just because I was lazy, I promise. There is a reason. I can't really explain it without going into some spoilers. So I will explain it eventually, but right now, suffice it to say that this person and the Guildmaster are sort of the same person, but not. But they are. But they're not. But they are. But they're... It'll make sense later, but I just thought I'd address that. There's a reason he looks exactly like the Guildmaster. But anyway, let's explore the fort a bit. Let's see who we can chat with. What does thirst feel like? I can't remember. You must be warm with all that blood. Anyone else? No, not on this floor. Alright, well, let's head inside. Oh, yeah, I'm not quite used to the movement with the controller, but I will get there. We are forever doomed to wander here. Right, up. Here we go. I have all the time in the world now to learn everything. What good is knowledge when you're dead? There are some books in here that we could read, but we'll maybe save that for another time. There's really only one that we can only read here, and we'll get to that. I cannot eat without a body. I forget what food tastes like. So there's one guy over here. I suppose you could use what I have here. I don't know what he needs our money for, but we will... Let's buy a hood for Shadow. Is there anything else? We can probably sell this halberd. Matthew has the spear and the shield, so that's probably good enough. Yeah, we'll sell the halberd. Give Shadow that hood. And sell his old one. Good. Alright. Can you tell me, what is sleep like? Alright, well, I guess we're going to be here for a while, so let's rest up. Hey, Shadow, I got a question for you. What is it? Where did the Guardians come from? They're the ghosts of deceased assassins. When a creature dies, their spirit returns to either Abyssus or Aether, whichever it came from. But if a creature leaves a strong impression upon death, their spirit may not return quite so willingly. Those creatures become ghosts. So those spirits are the ghosts of dead assassins? Yes, but only the strongest of spirits can take a physical form like these Guardians. They're formidable, as you saw earlier. No kidding. Kinda makes me worry what the rest of training will be like. Don't worry too much. From what I understand, there's a lot of fitness involved, as well as countless hours of meditation. It shouldn't be too difficult. I can only hope. Well, we should get some rest. Yeah. Hey, Shadow, answer one more question for me. Sure. What do you want to know? Who are you? I mean, you know my entire background for the most part. I don't know a thing about you. I don't much like talking about my history. If we're going to be training and traveling together, I think it's only fair that I should know who I'm traveling with. Yeah. That's fair, I guess. Alright, you want to know who I am? Where I'm from? I'm nothing. What? You want to know the life I lived before the guild? I was begging on the street since I was old enough to walk. I never knew my parents. They abandoned me in Safane. I was a kid, and yet I was begging for scraps to survive. The Emperor, Leonardo at the time, cared little for the townsfolk. Taxes were high, and people could hardly fend for themselves, let alone an orphan beggar child. So I begged, I stole, and I learned how to be invisible. People who didn't simply look the other way when they saw me would spit in my direction instead. I was a burden to society, and everyone knew it. They'd show false pity, but keep a tighter grip on their wallets when they'd see me. No one truly cared or wanted to help. Then one day, a man came to town. He was wearing these dark, fine robes and carried himself with a certain sense of purpose. At the time, all I saw from him was wealth. I picked his pocket, took his coin purse. I walked away with more gold than I'd seen in a year, but I got caught. I didn't know at first, but he'd let me walk away. A few days later, I was sleeping in an alley when I woke to a shadow hanging over me. It was the man I'd stolen from. His face was hidden by his hood, and I was terrified. I thought he was going to kill me. Instead, he reached out a hand and offered to take me away. To take care of me. Give me a home. A family. A purpose. It was the Guildmaster. He told me he was impressed with my ability, that I was gifted in the arts of stealth, and he told me that my talents could do more good than I could possibly imagine. Well, what was I supposed to do? No one had ever seen potential in me before. For once in my life, I had a chance to make a difference. I took his offer, and I've never looked back. With the blades, I'm valued. I have a family. I have a purpose. As a kid, I was nothing, nobody, just a shadow. I didn't even have a name. I've lived in shadows all my life. And within my family, within the blades, shadow is the name I was given. But instead of cowering in them, I embrace them as who I am. So there. You wanted to know who I am? Now you know. Not anyone special, I'm not a hero. Just some beggar off the street. Shadow, you're more than that. You're not a beggar. You're an assassin. You're a teacher, a mentor. You're a man with a purpose, a man fighting to make a change in a dark and cruel world. You're a friend, a brother. Thank you. Get some rest. You'll need it for training tomorrow. Yeah, you too, Fang. And Shadow, thank you. I feel like I understand you a lot better now. Yeah, good night, Fang. Night, Shadow. And so did Fang's training continue. The days were filled with rigorous exercise and challenging trials. The nights were spent in the library, researching new techniques and ancient history. Unfortunately, without the basic skills required to be an assassin, the Guardians refused to train Gray and Matthew. They continued to practice what skills they had in an effort to stay in shape, but could not improve any further. The first few weeks consisted mainly of fitness and conditioning. Little instruction took place beyond enduring pain inflicted by the Guardians, of which there was much. They were relentless during sparring. A month passed, and Fang's instruction could finally resume. And Fang grew to level 20, and Shadow grew to level 19. I guess that fitness paid off. And Gray and Matthew have left the party. Ugh. Enough. You've proven yourself fit enough for the next trial. Ugh. Finally. Been doing nothing but exercises for the past month, and it has paid off. You are clearly stronger and more dexterous than when we started. You are starting to gain the semblance of a true assassin. I was fit before, but I didn't realize how much more I could improve. Your training was not nearly complete before you arrived. Truly, the quality of instruction your guild provided has diminished over the years. Yeah, that's my instruction you're talking about. You yourself are a mere pup compared to your master. Hey, enough. Let us continue. The two of you know different techniques, so this is where you will part. Shadow, you will go with another guardian. Fang, you stay with me. Yes, master. So what happens now? You've proven yourself physically capable of learning the remainder of the assassin techniques. Unfortunately, it is not so simple as a gift of knowledge, such as when you've learned the first technique. Why not? It is difficult to explain. What method did Shadow use to teach you your current skill? He just sort of showed me how. He had me go through a series of motions, and then suddenly I knew how to use the skill. Yes, I feared as much. Such a method of instruction is extremely dangerous in many ways. What Shadow did was no gift, but rather a vicious assault of your mind. What? What do you mean? To his credit, he didn't know any better, and the method worked, but in a way he cheated. Isn't it odd that Shadow could teach you a skill that he could not use himself? I never really thought about it like that. So what really happened? Essentially, Shadow forced your mind into a different shape, one that included knowledge of the skill you currently possess. Had he made a mistake, he may have shaped your mind to ruin, causing you to lose all motor function or go completely insane. Gods. Reshaping one's mind can be useful, but is too dangerous to practice and carries unthinkable consequences. It would make one hell of a weapon, though. Imagine reshaping the mind of an enemy, making them unwilling to fight. True, if it were possible. In order to change the shape of one's mind, the subject must be willing, much as you were when Shadow offered to teach you. Regardless, I will not teach you the remaining techniques using the same method. Quick aside here. So, back when Shadow taught us Cauterize, the screen kind of faded to black. Fang learned the technique, came back, and he felt like this surge of power, this rush of like, oh, I feel good, I can do anything. But then Shadow warned him, he's like, I would teach you all three, but you can't handle them. The reason for that belief is that not necessarily because Fang can't handle them, but because methods in the past of trying to teach these techniques, like more than one technique, have basically killed assassins previously because of this very thing. It's quite literally like destroying someone's mind. It's like trying to perform brain surgery on somebody. So when Shadow tried to teach us one technique and warned that we can't handle the others, it's really just because if he tried to teach us another one, the risk is that we could just die. Anyway, back to it. Another method is required. How else can I learn these techniques? These skills are essentially a branch of magic. When you use these skills, you are drawing from your internal well of energy, just as a mage does to fuel their spells. Spells make use of spirits of Aether and Abyssus to fuel their power. The assassin techniques are applications of the power of Morbus, Ignis, and Nox specifically. What do you mean? Have you heard of the Seven Fiends of Abyssus? If you haven't, the library has text that can explain more. Regardless, these techniques take magical energy to use just as spells do. When you learned your first spell, such as it was, you had never drawn from that energy before. And learning to draw from that internal magical energy, that was something that Shadow reshaped me to know how to do? Precisely. Now that you have practiced manipulating the energy, it is a simple matter to teach you how to use that energy in different ways. If it helps, think of it as compared to your own martial arts training. When you first learned how to strike, it was awkward and clumsy. It was clumsy and awkward, yes? Of course. I had never done it before, and I'd never practiced the motions. But with practice, you develop the proper muscle memory to execute those strikes without thinking, on a reflex. The same principles apply to using magic. So the more I use magic, the easier it is for me to reach for it, and the more energy you'll be able to put into your skills, increasing their effectiveness. Muscle memory, but for magic. Spirit memory, in a sense. As I mentioned before, these skills are specific applications of the power of 3 of the Fiends of Abyssus. As a result, a great deal of focus is required to use these skills. In order to focus your mind enough to be able to use these techniques effectively, you must first learn to use them for the purpose with which they were developed. That makes sense? What should we start with? You have already practiced with Cauterize, so we will start with Shroud. Join me by the practice dummy in the far corner of the fort. Understood. There's a book in the basement that we may read later in regards to how magic actually functions in this game, but for now, let's just keep going with training. First, I shall teach you Shroud. Now, if you're asking why this is different from what Shadow learned, it's quite literally, instead of just hacking someone's brain to give them information, this kind of fade to black as the Guildmaster, or the Master here, teaching Fang how to manipulate his magical energy to cast Shroud instead of Cauterize. So it's just a different application of the same thing he was doing before. I don't feel any different. Did you expect otherwise? Well, yeah. When I learned Cauterize, I felt this rush of energy. I felt the power of the technique flowing through me. It was most likely a side effect of having your mind manipulated. You were suddenly aware of your own internal magical energy in a way you never were before. Now that you're already accustomed to that energy, learning a new method of manipulating it will not provide you that same feeling of euphoria. I see. That makes sense. Now, Shroud. This technique draws on the power of the disciples of Nox to cloak yourself in shadows. Nox is the fiend of darkness and controls that realm. Shroud uses that same power to conceal your position, preventing the enemy from hitting you. That sounds useful. What's the catch? There is one drawback to Shroud. While it can conceal your position from others in the mortal realm, you cannot hide from other spirits. Spells will still hit you. Still, when used against enemies who only use physical abilities, you become nearly invincible as long as you can maintain it. It is, however, difficult to use. Shadows are not easy to manipulate, and as a result you may need to take some extra time to focus your mind. Okay, I think I understand. Excellent. Then we shall begin with your first lesson. I want you to face this guardian. He will attempt to defeat you. You must escape him. Use Shroud to survive long enough. Understood. Okay, so if we take too many hits, we're definitely going to die, but we're going to use Shroud. And then we're going to hold the escape button. I'm actually going to, for 5, I'm going to let my gauge fill up a bit. 8, 9, 10. I believe it's, 10 turns. So now I'll just cast it again. And should be able to finish the escape. There we go. Excellent. You are starting to understand. Let us work on this further. Try it once more. Yes, Master. A week passed. After much frustration and the occasional failure, Fang worked in enough practice to use Shroud. In the meantime, Shadow learned another skill of his own. The next day came quickly, and with it the beginning of learning Venom, the final skill. Fang learned Shroud 1, and Shadow grew to level 20. How's the training coming along? So far so good. You? It's different from what I expected. I know what you mean. I thought this would be a bit more violent. It seems more philosophical than anything. I wish I'd been exposed to this before I trained you. It makes sense, and more importantly, it's a more efficient, effective method of learning the techniques. Not to mention it makes it possible to learn more than one technique at a time. Yeah, but you have to have an instructor who knows these skills in order to learn them. I taught you your skill without knowing it myself. True, but that was risky. You're lucky I'm not a vegetable after you messed around with my mind like that. Yeah. Sorry. I didn't realize what could happen back then. It's going to be a reform in how the assassins are trained after this. Good idea. You're going to the last of the techniques today, aren't you? Why don't you tell me? You've been making just as much progress as me. It's been a productive week. Agreed. Anyway, I should get going. The Guildmaster awaits. You're meeting him in the courtyard, right? Yeah, I'm ready. Training is almost complete. Keep going, Fang. We're almost there. Alright then. He just won't stop. 98. 99. 100. Wow. I wasn't sure you could actually do it. You know, if you spent half as much time working out as you do reading books and meditating, you'd be just as fit. And if you spend as much time reading books as you do working out, you might actually have a brain. Hey! I'm kidding. But magic does take serious discipline. The amount of focus required is unbelievable. I have to meditate every day just to maintain that focus. Every day? I mean, you're already pretty powerful. How much practice do you really need? Think of it like any sort of martial art. If you don't practice, you'll get rusty. For magic, it's all about centering yourself and keeping your mind as sharp as possible. Similarly, the more you practice the basics, the better you become at the more advanced techniques as well. How does that apply to magic? Simply put, the better I can get at focusing my mind and creating clear intentions, the better my spells will be. They'll be stronger, but also much more efficient. Huh. I didn't realize magic could require so much of you. I always thought that once you knew a spell, that was it. I didn't realize it required daily discipline. If it was easy, everyone would do it. But I always preferred using my brain over using my muscles, so I chose this path. And I've always done hard physical work, so this is all I know. You see, I could exercise and become physically strong, but I'd be taking time and focus away from my magic. If I studied magic, I wouldn't have time to keep conditioning myself and staying in top shape. Better to be an expert in one field rather than a novice in two. Exactly. Glad to see you guys are still keeping busy. We won't be here too long, I promise. Take your time, Fang. You've got your own skills to practice. Yeah, you're the one leading the show after all. Thanks, guys. I'm grateful for the support. Don't mention it. Now let's see if I can do 100 sit-ups. Oh boy. Alright, real quick before we move... No. Well, let's keep training. There he is. Are you ready to continue your training? Yes, Master. Excellent. You've successfully learned both Cauterize and Shroud. All that remains is Venom, the technique of Morbus. I'm ready to learn. Then I shall teach you Venom. Fang learned Venom 0. This technique draws on the power of the disciples of Morbus to infect your foes. Morbus is the fiend of disease, yet his power includes poison and corrosion. Venom allows you to make use of that power to douse your foes in a deadly acid that eats away at flesh, while infecting their blood with the debilitating poison. That sounds potent. How does it work? Think for a moment of the venom of a snake or a poisonous spider. When exposed to flesh, it can burn and corrode, but when injected into the blood, it can quickly kill. This is no different. While the acidic effects of venom are certainly powerful, your goal is to poison the bloodstream, thereby crippling your foes. If you can effectively do that, it does not matter how strong your opponent is. The poison will kill them for you. Okay, I think I understand. Excellent. Then for your next lesson, I want you to face this guardian. He will attempt to defeat you, but he will be weakened. Use venom to succeed. Understood. Okay, so he doesn't hit very hard, but he's a lot faster than us. So we'll use venom, and he's poisoned. And every time he hits us, he's going to take damage based on a percentage of his health. So even though he's ridiculously strong, his speed is actually going to work against him here. There we go. You're off to a good start. We'll need to work more at this, but you have a good grasp of the technique. Thank you, Master. I want you to practice this technique some more, but first you have another task ahead of you. What do you need me to do? Your training is not complete until you have released a guardian from the mortal realm. Even with all the skills I have provided you, this is impossible in your current state. Then how will I become assassin once more? The answers you seek can be found within this fortress. The library may prove most enlightening. The library? What am I looking for there? There are numerous volumes on the various creatures of Lithia, but somewhere among those texts is a small book that speaks of ghosts. Find that book, learn what you can, and come see me when you are done. As a command, Master. Alright, so now we'll head to the library. There's actually 2 books I want to read. One, just because it'll help you give a better understanding of how magic actually works, and then the other one for the story. So let's start with the optional one here. This book here titled Fundamentals of Magic. Would you like to read it? Yes. The first thing to understand magic is that it is not natural to the realm of mortals. Magic originates from the realms of Abyssus and Aether. The use of magic from humans is simply the art of summoning a spirit into the mortal realm from the realms of the gods. The spirit can then exert its will upon the world around it. All humans have their own internal well of magical energy, but learning to manipulate this energy requires extensive study and practice. As with any muscle, however, this well can grow with practice and exertion. When a mage draws from this energy to fuel a spell, that energy in reality goes to the spirit that the mage is attempting to summon. The more powerful the spirit, the more energy that is required to summon it. In addition, spirits continually draw upon this energy the longer they stay in the mortal realm. In other words, the more energy a mage can put behind their spells, the more they can increase the magnitude and duration of those spells. If a mage is able to sharpen their focus, they can also direct the spirit to use that energy to create a specific form. This allows the mage to use magic in more precise, specific ways. For example, if a mage summoned a spirit of air without giving much thought to the form it should take, that spirit would likely manifest as a cyclone or a burst of gale force wind. Whereas a mage with greater focus could force that spirit into a precise form. Using the same spirit of air, a mage could direct that spirit to empty a victim's lungs of all air, suffocating their target with much less effort. A mage's creativity is limited only by the focus with which they can exert control over spirits. It is for this reason that the study of magic is always evolving, always with more to be learned. It is, however, important to understand the hierarchy of spirits before attempting to summon one. Within each of the realms of the gods, there exists a tiered system denoting the power of various entities. Within Aether, spirits of earth, water, and air are the simplest and easiest to summon. Spirits of healing are more difficult, requiring greater focus, and spirits of light are the most difficult, requiring great power. As for Abyssus, spirits of fire, ice, and lightning are the most simple to summon. Following are spirits of disease, which are more accurately described by the ailments they inflict, and finally spirits of dark being the most difficult. Most mages begin their practice learning to summon the lesser spirits of Abyssus for the simple reason that they require very little focus to cause destructive force. The lesser spirits of Aether require slightly more focus. It should be noted that all the spirits mentioned thus far are still among the bottom tier of the entities of these realms. Placed directly above the greater spirits of light and dark are the gods themselves. The only recognizable difference between the spirits and the gods, in fact, is their individual identity and ability to influence the mortal realm. The gods are simply the most powerful spirits inhabiting Abyssus and Aether. The last point that must be made regards the summoning of greater spirits. A mage who attempts to summon a greater spirit of light or a greater spirit of dark is in essence aligning themselves with the power of that spirit. A mage can easily summon lesser spirits of both Abyssus and Aether, but to summon higher tier spirits requires a certain amount of dedication to those spirits. As a result, a mage can only learn to summon one type. If a mage dedicates themselves to the summoning of light spirits, they can effectively learn spells of healing, restoration, and even revival, while using the light of Aether with destructive force against dark creatures. If, however, a mage decides to learn to summon dark spirits, then spells of ailments can be learned, and are only limited by the mage's creativity. In addition, the dark power of Abyssus is within reach and is devastating. Mages who dedicate themselves to the realm of light are known as sages, and mages who prefer to study the realm of darkness are called necromancers. While there is a certain stigma against using dark magic, there has been no proven moral qualm of using one side over the other. Both studies are accepted as valid at the Academy in Safane. So, for example, he's not in my party, so I can't show you. But Gray, for example, knows cure and heal and life and synthesis. Those are all light spells. So Gray has essentially aligned himself with light magic. He can no longer learn dark magic. Whereas Fang actually, Shroud is actually dark magic. So is Venom. And because these are more higher tier dark spells, Fang actually cannot learn light magic anymore. So yeah, that's kind of how magic works. You basically are summoning a spirit. That spirit uses the energy you fuel it to take form, which then allows it to exert its will through an explosion of fire or whatever have you. But if the mage can focus, they can command that spirit to basically take a specific shape and do a specific thing that the mage tells it to. Anyway, book here titled Ethereal Entities. Ethereal. How do you say that, actually? I'm curious. Is it ethereal or ethereal? I've heard it both ways. I think for the longest time I always called it ethereal. But I think it's ethereal is the actual proper pronunciation of that word. Somebody tell me, because I actually don't know. Anyway, there's a book here titled, I'll call it Ethereal Entities. Would you like to read it? Yes. Ghosts, the imprints of spirits that have yet to find rest, are incorporeal, and as such are difficult to interact with. A ghost is formed when a creature in the mortal realm dies, but their spirit does not willingly depart back to the realms of the gods. The majority of ghosts are unaware of their lingering existence and may wander for generations without ever passing on. Many of these ghosts can become violent, allowing them to interact with the world, and in turn allowing the world to interact with them. These ghosts become of a type of monster, and upon death return to Abyssus. However, a ghost that is more self-aware is considerably harder to banish. These ghosts have not given in to their monstrous tendencies, and as a result have maintained some semblance of sanity. This sanity allows the ghost to maintain the color of their spirit. If a ghost has a light spirit and does not become a monster, they may still return to Aether upon their banishment. The difficulty comes from banishing these ghosts, as they are not fully able to interact with the world. In order to interact with these ghosts, 3 conditions must be met. First, the ghost in question must have enough self-awareness to recognize their state of being. As was mentioned previously, not all ghosts are aware of their incorporeal state, thinking themselves to still be alive. Second, they must be banished from a living being in the mortal realm. And third, the person banishing the ghost must have attained a state of pure concentration. The more the person is able to focus on banishing the ghost, the more directly they will be able to interact with them. When these 3 conditions are met and the person in question disrupts the incorporeal form of the ghost, the spirit of that ghost will be banished back to the realm of the gods. Okay. That took longer than I thought. It is sundown. But let's return to the Master and we will continue our training. You've returned. And what have you learned? From what I read in that book, I need to attain a state of pure concentration. And do you know what this means? Not really. If I had to guess, I'd say that I need to eliminate all distractions and focus completely on my objective. An accurate enough description, but eliminating distractions is not as simple as it sounds. It requires a total awareness of all your surroundings, as well as everything going on in your own body. The key to focusing on one particular thing is not to ignore everything around you. The key is to become completely aware, transcending the need to worry over your surroundings. That sounds difficult. In a fight, I'm good at keeping track of my opponents, my allies, and my own limits, but everything? The terrain, the lighting, sound, all of that? If there's an arrow flying toward you from above and behind, and you don't know it, you will get hit and possibly die. Simply knowing that such a thing is possible gives fear enough for a distraction. The only way to know for certain that there is no arrow, and thus remove your fear, is to be completely aware of everything around you. In a quiet environment without the chaos of battle, no enemies or allies to keep track of, I might be able to attain that level of concentration. But all the time, when I'm fighting 3 people at once, all protecting my friends and myself at the same time, there's no way I can keep that kind of focus. You can, and you will, with my help. I know a way for you to do this, if only temporarily. How? Through intense, hours-long meditation. I will personally guide you through it. Very well. When do we start? We will begin tomorrow morning. In the meantime, I want you to keep practicing with your new skill. You may use the training dummy in the corner. Yes, Master. Okay. Can I just say, this feels so much smoother. I don't know how it's going to show up on the recording, but I'm not experiencing any lag or stuttering or anything. This is so fantastic. I'm so happy, honestly. Oh, I'm just so happy that it's not choppy and it's actually smooth and I can do this properly and at least semi-professionally. Like, oh, so happy. Okay, alright, let's train. We'll train for the day. Fang learned Venom 1. Ugh, I'm sore all over. This training sure is relentless. Well, at least today won't be too physically demanding. According to the Master, all I need to do now is meditate. Guess I better get going. How long are we gonna stay here? How's the training coming along? Alright, let's go talk to the Master. Please walk in a straight line. That is the only thing, is that the controller is a little clunky to use. I'll get used to it, though. You finally pry yourself from your bed. Apologies. I needed my rest after the intensity of yesterday's training. Fair enough. Come, let us begin. I want you to clear your mind. Take deep breaths, in through the nose and out through the mouth. With each inhale, I want you to hold that breath for 3 seconds. Breathe in and out. Now, with each inhale, I want you to picture yourself filling with white light. With each exhale, envision darkness leaving your body. I think envision is supposed to be spelled with an E. E-N, vision. Envision your... sorry, carry on. As this light fills you, imagine warmth entering your body, your arms, your legs, your chest, and as this darkness leaves you, take with it all discomforts, all pain. Good. Relax. I want you to relax every muscle in your body. Ease the tension in your shoulders. Let your head drop and relax. Excellent. Now, open your senses. Take note of what you are feeling, what you can hear, taste, smell. The cold on your skin, the scent of mold and mildew, the metallic taste of blood. Recognize everything that is happening within you. Now, reach further. Feel the breath of wind as it blows past you, swirling through the fort. Feel the creaking strain of the wooden beams, the weight of the shifting stones. You're distracted. What bothers you? Apologies, Master. I'm not sure I understand. How am I supposed to feel something that isn't me? Something that I'm not part of or in contact with at all? It is not a matter of sensing your environment or surroundings. It is realizing that you are a part of them. What? I still don't understand. I cannot explain with words that you would understand. Only once you've experienced this for yourself will this become clear to you. How can I do something when I don't understand how to do it, without complaining? What? But... Sorry. If you were walking in a forest and a deer passed by, would you consider the deer to be a natural part of that environment? I suppose. I mean, it's in its natural habitat, so yes, I guess I would. And yet that deer would see you just the same way, as a natural part of the world. Yet you do not consider yourself to be one with the environment. Why? I don't know. You are one with the world you live in, whether you realize it or not. You are connected to everything around you. Once you realize this, once you learn your own place in the natural order of the world, it is a simple matter to learn the place of everything else. And that is when you will have achieved pure concentration. Not when you can focus on one thing to the exclusion of all else. It is when everything else falls into place that you can focus on the one thing that isn't. That is concentration. That is your goal. In addition to your regular training, I want you to practice these meditation techniques every day for at least an hour until you've achieved a state of pure concentration. Yes, Master. Good. Then I shall leave you. Continue to meditate here for another hour, then find Shadow and practice the assassin techniques with him. Understood? Okay. Alright, well, let's find Shadow. There he is. Hey, Fang. What's up? I was sent to find you. I'm supposed to spar with you, test out the assassin techniques. Really? I haven't sparred with you since I trained you. I'm interested to see how much you've improved. Non-lethal contact, anything goes? Training weapons only. What do you prefer, daggers or katana? I prefer daggers. Alright, let's do this. Ready, set, go! Alright, well, let's start with a shroud. Ooh, we are poisoned, so we'll probably need to cauterize. Can we... You know what, let's do a venom first. Nice, okay, we got him poisoned, because we should be able to withstand... Yeah, and now we can cauterize to cure ourselves of the poison. Yeah, we're good. And let's try well, no, he's not shrouded or anything. Let's just attack him. I'm actually surprised he's not using any techniques. Normally he does. Supposed to. Let's just finish him with a throw dagger. Nice. Okay. That was remarkably painless. Damn. I had no idea you'd gotten that good. I'm getting rusty. I had a good trainer. You don't have to suck up to me. You're good, alright? That's all there is to it. Fair enough. I guess I can accept a compliment. What are you gonna do now? Meditate. I've got to master this concentration thing. It's not a bad idea. I'll catch you later. Sure thing. I feel like I keep changing Shadow's voice and I can't seem to keep it consistent, but I'm just gonna keep going with it. Days went by, and as the days blended into weeks, Fang and Shadow gradually improved their concentration. As they improved, they learned that the higher level of concentration had an added benefit. For a brief period after meditation, the two assassins would move with lightning speed during their training. The Master described this as a heightened body awareness. By knowing exactly how and where their body mass was moving, they could react much faster and strike with greater ferocity. A month passed, and Shadow mastered his concentration faster. Before long, he was called upon by the Master to release a guardian. Shadow, step forward. You have proven yourself capable of mastering the skills taught by the ancient assassins of this world. Your trial is now upon you. Guardian, step forward. Shadow, you are ready. Sever the bonds of this guardian and release him from the mortal realm. Yes, Master. Shadow? I did it. Shadow, look at yourself. What? Oh, my... What happened? You are an assassin no longer, Shadow. You have ascended from that rank. From this day forward, you are now known as Silencer. Embrace your new rank. Unbelievable. Fang, step forward. Yes, Master. I am sorry to say that you are not yet ready. You lack the concentration required. You are distracted during your meditations. Your task, then, is to determine the source of these distractions and remove them from your focus. Yes, Master. I hear and obey. Congratulations, Shadow. Thank you, Guardian. So, what's this I hear about you being distracted? It's nothing. I'll sort it out. I'm here to help if you need me. It's nothing! I don't need your help, alright? I'll figure this out. Just give me time. Fine. I'll be in the kitchen if you need me. Alright, let's go find Shadow. I'm sorry. I shouldn't have lashed out like that. Don't worry about it. I know you're just trying to help. I just got frustrated. I know. The truth is, the Master's right. I have been distracted. With what? It's not something I want to talk about. Fine. I can accept that. I'm sorry. Go. Get some sleep. Maybe tomorrow will bring better luck. Alright. Fang. It's Marissa, isn't it? That's what has you distracted. You still blame yourself for her death. Stop talking. Right now. You know something? I respect you. Or I did. But this, it's pathetic. People die. Get over it. Shadow, you heard what I said. She didn't deserve to die, but it wasn't your fault. Let it go and do something instead. Get focused. Fight back. Quit being such a child. You did it. What? I knew you were distracted by Marissa's death, and I knew that same distraction could help you reach the skill you needed. You did exactly what I thought you would. How? When you killed Gareth, you did the exact same thing, didn't you? I found a guardian, got the Master's permission, and set up this little event. You used me. And it worked, like a charm. Thank you. I did what had to be done, but don't think I'll forget what you just tried to do. You let your anger get the best of you. I know I egged you on, but that lack of emotional control could get you killed. You almost killed me just now. Work on that. You can do better. I'm sorry. I pushed you, so I'll forget about it. This time. Fair enough. So what now? Now. You're ready. We're both ready. Now we go home. Back to the guild. It's been so long. Too long. Then we best get a move on. Agreed. Fang is now a silencer. He has learned Concentrate and Lethality. And Shadow, Grey, and Matthew have joined the party. And we got ourselves a new getup. What's it called? New digs? Is that? No, that's... We have new clothes. Looking fine. Alright, we should probably re-equip our stuff. Yeah. And, yeah, we got our new Overdrive, Lethality. From what I remember, it does double damage, has a chance of scoring a critical hit, which would deal 6 times damage. It can inflict the bleed status, which is like a very powerful poison, but also it can work against certain bosses. And it does have a chance to do an instant kill. Also, because we're level 20, our velocity skill leveled up, and now it is momentum. 5 strikes that double the damage with each successful hit. The first strike is less powerful than the first strike velocity, but by the 5th strike, it can be insane. And each strike has a chance to be a critical hit. As for Shadow, where's Shadow? There's Shadow. Shadow has Shroud, Venom, and Cauterize at level 3. We have Shroud, Venom, and Cauterize. Shroud and Venom are only level 1. Makes sense. Shadow mastered his concentration faster than us, so I guess he had more time to train. Yeah. Alright, we're doing alright. Just want to double check some settings. Yeah, I think we're good. Okay. Well, I think let's head back to the guild. We'll turn in the mission. Like, we'll return to the guild, we'll speak to the Guildmaster, and then we'll probably call it there, save and quit. Wherever your travels take you, know that you are always safe and welcome here. Alright. Oh, I'm just so glad that it feels this smooth. It's not choppy, it's not laggy. This is so much better. Oh, what do we want to use? Momentum or Lethality? Let's go with Momentum. Nice. Oh, just barely kept him alive. But oh well. Oh yeah, and Shadow and Fang, please walk in a straight line. Shadow and Fang now have Concentrate as well. We should use that. Raises agility, evasion, and critical hit rate. Oh, nice hit. Now the nice thing about Concentrate is that it does sustain after battle. And it gives us, I think, a +4 crit chance. Something, you know what, actually, we can look it up. Skill, status elements, here we go. There, concentration. Agility is increased to 150%, evasion increased by 10%, and crit is increased by 4%. And it lasts about 75 turns. So every time a character changes their class, they get a kind of stat boosting ability that is like a self buff. And for the assassins, it is Concentrate. Alright. Yeah, we don't need to fight you. This guy we do. Strike Flurry. Ah, not quite. Please finish him. There we go, good. Fire. Oh, he's charging up something. Can we take him out first? Yes, nice. Alright. Gray's level 20. Gray's level 20. He did not learn anything new. I think we need to start using Bliss a little bit more. Oh. Oh, nice block, Matthew. Okay. Oh.
Found you.
What? Who are you?
I'll admit you were difficult to track. In the end, it was your friend, the former prisoner, who I managed to follow.
You followed me?
You were the only prisoner of Gareth's who was unaccounted for, and I was able to get your description. Someone spotted you and pointed me in the right direction. Although I didn't know you were all actually traveling together. That was a lucky guess.
Enough. Who sent you?
Come now, you're a professional. You should know that I won't sell out my client.
Careful, Fang. This guy's dangerous.
How very astute.
What do you want?
Your lives, obviously.
Not gonna happen. Attack! Fade. Alright. Let's test out some of our assassin techniques. I don't actually know if this guy can be poisoned. He can. Okay. Works for me. Can we blind him? Maybe, maybe not. Oh, that poison is just eating him. But that just kind of goes to show how much health he's got. Let's try a pierce. Nice. Earth 3, nice. What is he charging? Oh. Yep, he just used Shroud. Yep, I can't hit him. You know what can, though, is throw dagger. It's guaranteed to hit. That's not... Oh, I guess Venom would work. Let's try it. Ooh! Okay, that did a lot. And Venom is not the most effective. Cauterize. Good. Use Blood Rage. Just stall. Venom. Still no. Okay. Wait. No, I don't have anything that's a guaranteed hit, I don't think. I'm pretty sure lethality is not. Oh, he's not walking. He's probably low on health. He's probably about to die. Oh, and he's not shrouded anymore. You know what? Let's go with lethality. Let's give it a try. Bleeding. Nice. Nope. And that's it.
You fight like me. Who trained you? A greater man than you'll ever know. No, it can't be. Tell me. The one who trained you, what does he look like? Have you ever seen his face, or does he keep it hidden? A mask of bone? The Guildmaster. So, the legend lives, and is working against the crown for a change.
Who are you? What do you know about the Guildmaster?
The one you speak of used to lead the Whispers. It was well before my time, but his legacy remains. He was the best we had before his accident.
What are you talking about?
Fang, shut up and kill him. Fascinating. It seems I have some more bounties to collect, starting with yours. Let's go, Fang. I have questions. Be careful how you ask them. I will. Let's move.
Okay. Well, let's return to the guild. And yeah, we'll chat with the Guildmaster, and then we'll save and quit. Okay. Come on. There we go.
You've returned, and you wear the robes of a silencer.
Yes, sir.
Your training was successful.
It was. We went to Fort Dymo. We met with the Guardians.
Shadow, does he speak truth?
He does. I wasn't with him the whole time, but I tested him, and he's clearly improved. As have I.
I see. You've been gone quite some time.
And we've faced dangerous foes. Enemies of yours, in fact.
What? What do you mean?
We were followed. A man claiming to be an agent of an organization called the Whispers tracked us down. He recognized our fighting style and claimed to know of you.
They still exist. I was sure they'd disbanded.
I know you've kept your identity secret, but it seems we've inherited some of your enemies. I think we deserve some answers. Who are you? And who are the Whispers?
Very well. I shall tell you. The Whispers were once a Crown-sanctioned organization of assassins. I was their leader.
Crown-sanctioned?
Indeed. We were never truly a part of the Crown, but we had the authorization from the Emperor himself to do business within Alithia. For certain targets, such as political ones, we were required to report them first. Nobility were mostly exempt, although commoners required no approval. We were no purpose-driven guild. We were simply murderers for hire. And more often than not, our most lucrative contracts came from the Emperor himself.
And you led them?
Not always, but I quickly rose through the ranks and found myself leading them within a handful of years. I'm ashamed to say that I took more lives in those years than any amount since. And many were not the criminals and warlords we hunt today. Most were innocent.
What happened? How did you end up here?
I was always looking to improve, become faster, stronger, more efficient. I learned of a way to gain great power, and I attempted it. It succeeded, but my body was severely wounded in the attempt, my face destroyed beyond recognition. I've worn this mask and these robes ever since. I gained new abilities, among them longevity. I am unsure how long I will live, but my body has not aged since that day. And yet this power came at a great cost. You may wonder why I do not go out into the field. It is because I cannot. Any effort is exhausting, and I am incapacitated for days afterwards. I can still fight and kill, but only sparingly. If I do, I must rest after. I continued to take contracts, but during my recovery periods I began to see what I was leading. We were nothing more than murderers. I became sickened at what the Whispers were, so I made arrangements that would lead to their disbandment, then left without a trace. It seems I failed. Instead of disbanding, it seems they simply went underground and have been doing an exceptional job staying hidden.
So how'd you end up here?
I fled the capital, but I knew that my talents could be put to better use. I founded my own guild, taking in those who had lost everything and were seeking a purpose. I knew that there was injustice in the world, and that I could do something about it. So I formed the Hidden Blades, and that's exactly what we've been doing ever since. Once I learned of Kane's ambitions, we shifted our focus, and now our goal is to restore the Empire and end his tyranny. I never expected him to enlist the Whispers.
How many of them do you think there are?
Very few. They can't have many members, or I'd have found them.
Do you think we'll face them again?
Not likely. Most contracts are kept confidential between the contract giver and the one who took it. If you killed him, you shouldn't have anything to worry about.
Who did you fight? I never caught his name. He was careful, though. A little arrogant. Wore light grey robes and wielded a silver wakizashi. He had training similar to my own.
No one I know. Of course there wouldn't be anyone alive today from my time there. Still, it seems they've kept their standards high. I'm surprised you were able to best him. I am still disappointed in your failure, but if what you say is true, then I cannot risk wasting your talents.
Does this mean I can take missions again?
Perhaps. I will give you one last test and make my decision then.
What would you have me do?
While you were gone, we have been trying to find a way to reach Sylvain, home of General Astrid. We have found a route, but it is dangerous. Have you heard of the Ocean's Maw?
No, I don't think so.
I have. It's a small cove between two large landmasses, but the cove is filled with sharp, jagged rocks. Only specially equipped ships can sail through the cove unscathed. Exactly. The ship you possess is not fit to make such a journey, but I know where such equipment may be hidden.
Where do I need to go?
Castle Amethine. King Samson gave you the ship, so it is likely that he has what we need. Meet with the king. Do what you must to upgrade your ship. Yes, master. Your will, my blade.
General Astrid, what is the meaning of this? Why did you summon me?
General Dawn, thank you for coming. You'll have to forgive my guards. They refused to allow anyone to enter without an escort ever since Gareth died.
Do you command so little authority that your guards refuse your commands?
On the contrary, I command such devoted loyalty that my guards would rather commit treason than put my own life at risk.
Such a lack of discipline is a shortcoming in your troops. It could cost them their lives. I don't much care for anyone who would so carelessly throw them away.
Enough. I did not summon you here to be lectured.
Then get to the point. I feel my time is wasted here.
Do you know how Gareth died?
He was assassinated, yes? Cain told me as much.
Precisely. I'm certain that he underestimated whoever came for him. I do not intend to make the same mistake.
Then make your preparations and leave me be. This is none of my concern.
Oh, but it is. Whoever the assassins were, they'll be coming for both of us. I plan to be ready when they do, and you'd best do the same.
I'm always prepared. If those assassins truly wish to face me, I will gladly oblige.
Then you're a fool. Do you think such a group will fight fair? We all sleep, Dawn, even you. Don't think they'd be above slitting your throat while you're unconscious.
Very well, then what do you recommend? Some sort of countermeasure, yes? You wouldn't have called me here otherwise.
I have a strategy I'd like to enact. If all goes well, we can set a trap for the assassins and stop them in their tracks. In order for it to work, however, I need the assassins to come from me first. To that end, I'd like to protect you.
You? Protect me? That's a joke, right?
While I'm certain you don't truly need protection, it just needs to appear that way to outside observers. I need to be sure that the assassins will come from me before you.
Why? What difference would it make?
Because if they target you first and succeed in killing you, they'll be able to attack me from both Guildmaster and the sea. If that happens, my trap will fail.
Fine. What do you propose?
Simply this. Allow me to station my men at the Bronze Pass. Increase security within Guildmaster, no one in or out without either your authorization or mine. With your land sealed and the Sylvain port open, I'd still be a target, and you and your men would be protected. The assassins would surely come for me first.
That makes sense. But why should I agree to this? What's in it for me?
Well, for one thing, it costs you nothing. It would be my men stationed at the pass, not yours. The risk is mine. It also saves you the trouble of dealing with the enemy. And besides, don't think I'm unaware of your intentions. Think of it this way. If the assassins come for me and my trap works, that's one less threat for you to worry about. And if they succeed, I'll be out of your way. You'd have a clear shot at the throne.
You really are devious. You thought of everything, didn't you? More than you know. Very well. I'll agree to this. How will I know if your plan has worked?
I'll send couriers in uniform bearing my sigil with updates. If anyone arrives without my authorization, don't let them in.
Understood. Good luck, General Astrid.
Farewell, General Dodd.
All right. So with that, I think we're going to call it there. Before we do, though, let's actually just chat with these guys. Wow, a silencer? That's a feat not easily earned. To think the newcomer would end up surpassing all us seasoned assassins. I guess hard work pays off. This guy didn't like us after Marissa died. I guess you're not completely beyond redemption. But don't think that you're forgiven simply because you wear those robes. The others may not have forgotten what you've done, but I won't. She wasn't just your friend. She was ours too. Alright. So I think... Oh. We're still poisoned. You know what? Let's just rest. Let's, Is it nighttime? Yeah, it is nighttime. Okay, let's sleep. We'll make it daytime. Rest up. Fully recover. And then, we'll save and quit. And then next time on Bloodstained Hands, we will return to Amathine to attempt to upgrade our ship. And thus earn the trust of the Guildmaster back and be able to continue on collecting missions from him. So, for now, we will leave it here, and until next time, I will see you next time. I'll see you next time. Goodbye.